Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We're going to be getting rolling here, continuing our Dolmenwood campaign. I am Alex. I'm going to be the GM for this session. I am joined by Ryan playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight, Winston playing Silver the Elf, Moreen playing Lillibeth the Hunter, Chris playing Thomas the Bard, and Dawson playing Topsy the Grimalkin. We are without our Friar here tonight, but we are picking up pretty much right where we left off last time. So we've been spending a little bit of time here in the ruins of the Abbey of St. Clewyd. The characters had seen this old church from the road as they were traveling with their wagon full of casks and barrels of wine. They were headed originally to Prigwort, but saw this and thought it looked worthy of checking out. Pretty soon they realized it wasn't just a abandoned old historical site, but there was something darker happening here, and they discovered that there were 3 children on the premises, all under the charm of an undead creature, who I guess the children referred to as Mr. Rag and Bones. And long story short, the characters had kind of dealt with him and freed the children from his allure, and actually delved into the ruins themselves and went into the crypts and dealt with some undead there. Did a little, I don't know, do we say grave robbing? They pilfered. They pilfered some, keepsakes and things just to remember the trip. And, they're now heading on out. Unfortunately, it wasn't consequence-free, as I think a number of the characters have kind of felt their essence, their energy be drained by some of these undead, and worst of all probably is Sir Geoffrey suffered a pretty nasty wound being clipped by the claw of Mr. Rag'n'Bones, and is maybe noticing a little bit of an infection where that piercing wound is in the flesh. Maybe something that will start to become more alarming over the coming days. But with that, we are still on the 9th day of Braghold. I think you've all probably gathered up near the wagon and have set off from the Abbey, heading due east along the road to really where you're... It should be stated that the characters do know that one of the children, Violet Harrowmore, I believe you all have identified that she is of noble birth and is the daughter of someone who is very, very important in these lands. So there is that piece to the story. You guys aren't going to be able to get, it is late autumn at this point, and so nightfall comes very early in the day. Like it is dark by 5 p.m. On these evenings. So we were probably, I don't know if I had taken great time notes here, but you'd spent quite a bit of the day there at the Abbey, and so I'm going to say it was probably about 3 p.m. by the time that you left the premises, and so you're only going to be on the road for maybe about 2 hours before you're going to have to start thinking about pulling off to the side and making camp, unless you wish to brave the dark in the forest and push your luck, but I imagine this group is maybe not feeling that. So maybe we can begin our session kind of talking through a little bit of like what your nighttime procedure is going to look like. I guess it's probably been a while since we've done this, so let me pull up our camp procedure. So you always need one person that's at least setting up the camp, that's staying behind, setting up camp, preparing everything, clearing things away so you can get your tents and bedrolls prepared. You could have at least one person probably out in the woods trying to fetch water, and then fetching firewood is another piece to everything. So each person that goes out seeking firewood, I think it was a D6 hours worth of firewood that you can collect.
Well, I typically like to go out and collect the firewood just to see what's out there.
Alex, do we need someone for cooking and someone for collecting food as well?
Cooking can happen kind of after the fact.
Okay.
Really, the three activities during setup are the preparing the campsite, the fetching water, and firewood.
Okay. Cool. I'll help with firewood.
I'll do
Thanks.
water.
Water.
Then maybe we got Geoffrey and his brother, and maybe the kids kind of helping with setting up the camp. So those of you,
Can we use the kids like hirelings and like send each one to do a task?
Right.
Like send the kid up to get firewood?
you can, but they're pretty young children, and so you know how that goes. They're gonna get lost, and you're gonna have a new quest to deal with because they'll see a rabbit and chase it into God knows where.
Are the kids like 6? Like how old is Violet?
That's a good question. The youngest boy was 5. I remember that. I think Violet was like 8 or so.
She wasn't much older than the middle boy.
Sorry, the oldest child, the Willie was 8 and Violet was 6.
And then the other one was 5.
Yeah. Bilberry was 5. So those of you that are fetching the firewood, go ahead and roll D6. Thomas, you were getting the fire, the water and such, so you probably just gather up everyone's water skins and head out and, actually for your bit of this task, it's going to be pretty easy because this road is actually hugging along. Along the north, there's a little stream there that you'd be able to go and collect some water from.
Okay.
So I found just really great dry firewood everywhere and have a reasonable pile for at least one campfire and maybe time for storytelling.
Yeah, we rolled 11 hours of wood. So
11 total. Perfect. Yeah, so you're going to be good throughout this evening for sure.
I'm going to take one of the days of worth of firewood and carve little stick figures. My activity.
Anything in particular? Is this like you're entertaining the kids with this or telling a story?
Make them like little characters. I'm gonna try to make one for each of the kids. It looks like the kid.
Awesome. So you build the fire. Normally we'd have the Friar here cooking, but maybe Geoffrey, could I have you do a wisdom check?
We could do that. I got to roll below, right?
Yes. Yep.
My wisdom is a 15. I rolled an 8.
Perfect. I'm just going to, I know since we don't have the Friar, I'm just going to assume his foraging activities that he would have been doing throughout the day pass, and he's got enough food that he's cooking you up a little bit of a meal. And then, is there anyone that would like to spend some time on camaraderie tonight?
Oh, yeah.
I was muted. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Would the one who is going to do that do a charisma check? So usually it's Thomas, but if
did you want to do it?
Yeah, it was yes. No. Thomas, of course. You're always going to have the best stories.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be mainly kind of catering to the kids, what's the your favorite story, what's your favorite song, and kind of work them into, I guess, feeling better about sleeping out under the stars and such. So I rolled a 14 and my charisma is 17.
Awesome. So this is successful. You kind of take a little bits and pieces of the preferences of each of the kids, and you just kind of seamlessly rework that into almost like a news story that keeps them enthralled. Definitely, as you set out from the abbey, they were all very much frightened and almost shell-shocked from, being away from their parents, like being woken up really essentially out of this stupor that the gloam had them under. And you're helping to put them at ease for sure, and ensure that they're going to get a good night's rest. So with all of this put together, I guess the last question I might have before I kind of let you maybe discuss things or RP, whatever you need to, is would there be any, what do we call it? Contemplating a question, I guess, with the aid of some pipe tobacco?
We sure had some. I don't have any. Do we
I
have?
don't know if anyone has any.
Hey, anyone got any some of that wonderful pipe grass? Anybody? Come on.
Grass.
I'll totally pay you back. I'm worth it. Come on. I know you are. I know you're holding some on me. Come on. I have none left. Maybe we can buy some when we get to Prigwort.
We could take mean, there isn't any out here at all? We didn't find any in our foraging at all?
Well, you can find it, sure, but then you gotta like let it dry and then let it sit for a bit and then let it go from like green to brown and then you gotta that takes time. It's too long. Let someone else do it.
Oh, well, it was a thought.
All right. So you guys are going to get restful sleep here tonight.
Nice.
But, it is dark. You've found a little patch off the road just to the south of the road. You can hear kind of the lapping of water, just kind of rhythmically, almost like adding a little bit to the atmosphere. You do feel a bit more at ease as you've put some distance between you and that haunted site. Clearly the mist and the fog that had sort of pervaded the grounds around the abbey seems to be very environmental. Like you've moved out of that, and so probably after maybe like 30 minutes of travel on the road like that, you escaped all of that. So the birds are chirping, you can hear the sounds of wildlife, all of that returns, so you feel like you've put enough distance away from it that it fills you with some degree of ease that you're camping a fair distance away from all the undeath and everything over there.
And Alex, with that restful sleep, hopefully this won't matter, but did we get any hit points back? So like 1 hit point, 2 hit points?
You'll get, I think it's a hit point.
Yeah, that's what I thought, like out in the wilderness.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah,
I believe
hopefully
I'd been
we'll
giving you a
get
hit
Prigwort.
point, and the bigger thing is that you're not taking a penalty in the morning.
Right. And Geoffrey, in the morning, how's your wound feeling? You took a pretty bad blow there. Is it any better?
And I think Geoffrey's gonna try to play it down, but he's gonna be like, "Oh, it's fine." But then he touches it and he's like, "Oh!" When he presses on it, you guys can probably see through the his clothing that it's oozing, and it's like not blood that's oozing. It's like pus and nastiness. But he's trying to play it low key, but
Well, that looks like it at least needs to be cleaned out. You should at least wash it out.
I did a couple times now, but it just seems to bite back,
Well, I'm sure the good Friar has taken a look and been treating you, and I'm sure that we're doing the best we can. I just had just curious. It looked a bit worse than a normal cut. So I guess we need to get back to town as soon as we can.
Yeah,
I think Mr. Rag and Bone's hands were quite dirty.
I
Right.
think
An advanced healer to take a look at it.
the friar has likely looked at it and has maybe gone through his. I think he's got a pouch where he's collecting some of the herbs and things that he's collected on the journey. Maybe even has tried to apply a few of those things, and nothing has seemed to like really help. So yeah, his assessment would be that maybe you go to a mendicant or something in Prigwort and have them check it out.
Now, Geoffrey will, of course, given his duties as a knight, will insist that takes second fiddle to returning the children. That the most important thing that we have to do when we get to town is not to heal me, but to return the children to their home.
It could be highly possible the returning Violet, her mother may have access to put in a good word at the church and things like that to get you healed up. Could have somebody in her service as well.
Fair enough.
You could make one of us your squire. I mean, for representational purposes only.
Please choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please choose Topsy. And that way,
That is fact.
well,
The monkey shows up with his cigar and says,
not Apu.
I don't know. I'm kind of all for Apu in this one. I mean, he'd make a perfect squire for you, wouldn't you say?
Do you think he could represent your house well in case you did have to leave? Because I don't want you to die simply to deliver the children. We can do that, and we can represent your nightly presence.
No one's gonna die. We'll return the children. We'll get me healed. We've got everything's fine. It's just a little pus. It's a little. It's
I still think, I
just
still.
a little necrosis. It's nothing that old Diane hasn't seen.
I know you've survived everything so far, but I really think you should make Apu your squire.
I don't know if he's ready for that kind of responsibility.
No, that is true. Are you ready for that kind of responsibility, Apu?
Oh! Takes a couple of puffs off his cigar. Ah! Then the 5-year-old goes and tries to grab his tail, and then they fucks off into the woods. Okay. So at some point here, it is dark. You've only got really the light from your campfire kind of lighting the immediate vicinity around you. Probably a discussion about watch order is needed here.
I'll take first watch.
Geoffrey will take last watch.
Take second. Second.
Are we having 4? Is that what we're doing?
I would think you would, have 4 rotations. So if you wanted to double up some people.
Yeah, I'll do the 3rd.
All right. So first watch is silver. Everyone retires to their sleeping rules and such, and so it is just you by the fire keeping watch. The road is maybe like half a mile away or something like that, but as you're listening, you can hear again like the water lapping against the shore, and you hear at some point during the evening, early in your watch, you start to hear these owls hooting, kind of in omnidirectional. Like you hear one initially call like from the north, and then it almost feels like just a couple of moments pass, and then you'll hear one down maybe to the southeast and to the like west. So they're coming from different directions, but definitely like 3 different directions you hear, almost as if talking to each other is kind of the feeling that you get.
Yeah, I'll for sake of not causing, I don't plan to interact, but I will listen to the owls and see if I can figure out patterns in their language. I know this is fruitless, but just out of curiosity and just listening for the patterns and almost like tell myself a story about what they might be saying, and like, these owls arguing with each other. Is there like a turf war happening, or is there like a, are they like telling their own campfire stories? Just kind of like entertaining myself with their calls. And then obviously slightly paying attention to if they're getting closer.
Yeah, I think after maybe half an hour passes, you're trying to pick up on patterns. You don't discern anything. It does feel still more like conversation than something that's following some kind of routine. And they feel closer after about 30 minutes.
Okay. How significantly closer? Is it like they're all around us, or is it just kind of like maybe move my way?
It still feels like some distance away. Your best guess is maybe like, I don't know, 500 yards.
Where is Topsy?
I imagine it's fallen like belly up on the back of all the casks, just spread out, just all the way.
Okay. I'm gonna, kind of casually, no rush about it, just pick up one of the sticks that was like, and I'm just gonna walk up and just be like, boop, boop, and just poke you in the belly, like, Topsy, wake up, Topsy.
Just scratching. You poking pretty good.
Oh, do you hear those owls hooting?
Huh? What's up?
Yeah, there's some owls making noises. Probably nothing, but they are getting closer to us, so I thought maybe you could help me maybe determine their intention at the very least, maybe wake everybody else up. Probably nothing.
Ho, 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 ho.
You woke me up for some owls?
Just listen. Owls, they're not pack creatures, right? Usually, aren't they more of a solitary hunter type?
I wish I knew that one. You looked the wrong person up for that question. I think the person you have to ask for that one's on second shift.
I was trying to not disrupt the shifts there, the people on shift, because.
Oh yeah, sure. Don't worry about it, young one. I got it. I'll help you figure this out. Don't you worry. It's like I just like put on a belt with just a short sword on it and just knock the crossbow, just get that set, and I was like, you want to go owl hunting? I mean, I never ate an owl before, but it can't be that bad. Is this what you want? Yeah. Or you just want to just chill and just listen to the sounds of the beautiful great Dolmenwood and just let it be like, oh, did you try doing a callback?
Let's, not yet. Like, why don't we listen? Maybe, Topsy, you're a little bit more in tune with animal types. You eat rats and such, right? So maybe you could have a
sure.
relationship to owls, and maybe you could echo.
Oh yes, because the best pairing of nature is the Grimalkin and an owl. Species of
You have so
prey.
much in common.
I
You're
mean,
hunters,
if you want me to get a closer investigation, I can have a peek see. But I have a few tricks up my sleeve. Alex, at this point, do we level up yet, or no? We're waiting until we get to Prigwort to have that take into effect.
It really should happen in Prigwort.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not leaving. You want to go look, or you want to just chill here for a bit?
Why don't we just take one quick look? Just ease my nerves.
You want me to be in a little cat form, or just me?
I think cat form, and then we can. So I'll turn around, so I'm not looking.
All right. Yeah. No peeking. No peeking. And I will, if no sentient creature is watching me at this moment, I will shapeshift and turn into just a little chunkier calico.
Is he able to do that? Or is she able to do that?
Yeah, that's one of your abilities. Yeah.
No sentient creature watching is the important.
Is the key is the key feature.
It happens. So.
Okay, good. That's the.
I will.
All right, so Topsy and I will just sort of like move to the perimeter of the camp, maybe, and just kind of like listen out for the owls, see if they seem to be coming to the camp, not just sort of like coming past us.
Your best sense is that they're about 300 feet away now.
How many does it sound like? Does it sound like a cacophony, or is it like
Sounds like 3.
3 or 4? 3? Okay.
Could be more, but maybe 3 that are actively talking to each other.
And are they triangulated? Are they like at this point, they're kind of like dispersed, or does it seem like they're like the 3 are like the same? The noise is coming from one area at this point.
No, it feels like 3 separate areas.
Yeah.
Drawing in closer.
What do you say, Topsy? You nervous now? I'll scratch you on the back, like near your tail, so you like lift up, get all like. All right. I'm gonna go wake up Lillibeth. I didn't want to do it, Lillibeth. I wanted you to get a good night's rest, but I'm gonna go get you. Just kind of rustle you.
What? What's up?
Sorry to wake you, but listen carefully. Do you hear those owls hooting and moving in our direction?
My owls.
Like a group of owls, like a pack of owls, a flock of owls, a gaggle, a murder of owls.
Oh, that's crows.
Hopefully.
So remember when we met Paulus?
Wait, I don't know. I can't remember if I remember that when we met Paulus.
Well, neither one of you might have been there.
I remember when I met Paulus.
When did you meet Paula?
I don't remember.
So,
I promise it's not a fairy thing I'm doing. I just like, have a conversation.
I think I know where this is going, but
yes. So owls are very interesting here in the Dolmenwood. They can be very fierce guardian creatures associated with the Droon and keeping the spirits of the dead. I don't know if they're at bay or not, and they generally don't take very kindly to visitors in places where they are.
Especially not our kind, Topsy.
Just so, how? And it's only it's not even midnight yet.
Well, I am going to. I think let's give it one more set of minutes and one more 10-minute time period. See what happens, and then if we feel like we're in danger, we can wake the others. At least half hour.
Another 10 minutes or so passes, and it's silent. They stop hooting at each other.
It's really hard to know what that means.
Alex, is it like abrupt like that, just like off, or does it kind of trail off?
Yeah, like it just like they end. Seems like the one in the north had like the final, kind of like a longer string of this staccatoed hooting. And then it stops.
Well, I think the only thing we really should do is continue to keep watch. Where are the kids sleeping?
Oh, good call. Where are the kids sleeping? I guess probably just various places around.
Yeah. Unless you guys want to like tell me what your plan was or what you did, I can answer that otherwise as a default answer. But
yeah, I think probably would have just had them. Probably just grouped together with maybe in between Geoffrey and the Friar, and so we wouldn't want them sleeping totally by themselves in case they like slipped off, right? Because who knows, like they're traumatized, they might have nightmares, like so. I think we would keep an eye on this part of the watch. So, I'll just say, yeah. So, why don't you go back to sleep then, Lillibeth, Topsy? I hate to do this to you, but take us this first shift with me. And if nothing comes of it, then we can go to sleep and wake you back up, Lillibeth.
Well, okay. I will go ahead and go back to sleep, but it's not going to be it's not going to be a heavy sleep. I'll be keeping a light here.
You go and you lie down. You're beginning to try to get back to sleep. Silver, could you do a listen check? I guess Topsy too.
That's a D6, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I rolled a 1, but I can't remember if that...
I think in the new rules it's high.
I have a 5 or 6 for listen. I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Nice.
So you hear the sound of wings coming towards the camp, all, let's say, kind of on the northern side of the camp. And as you're looking, you've got, cat senses. So you can see there are 3 owls, very large, like 3-foot wingspans, white, stark white, these hooked beaks. 3 owls are gunning right for... would they be in a tent? Is there a tent that somebody had?
Ooh, good question.
I would have set. I have a tent, and I would have set it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a tent where the 3 kids are sleeping inside that tent. These 3 owls are clearly dive bombing that location.
Plunk.
Taking a shot.
So, Topsy's...
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll, and after that happens, then we'll do a initiative roll.
Because I haven't done range combat in a hot minute. How far away are they? Because I'm trying to remember is it close range, medium range, long range stuff?
I would say you're in close range.
All right, so it's a +1 for that as well.
+1.
For being closer. All right, so this +4. Boop. I rolled a 1.
Okay. So it's a wild, like it almost surprises you. Let's go ahead and roll D6 then.
All right, I'll do this one.
Thank you.
All right, and I rolled a 5.
So party wins initiative. There are only, I'm going to say Lillibeth is still awake. You didn't quite fall asleep before this happened.
Nope.
So the 3 of you are up and awake at the moment. So any movement.
Moving to the tent. I will throw the crossbow aside and move to the tent.
I will also move to the tent. Can I pick up a rock as I'm moving?
Sure.
Okay.
Easily done.
I will also move to the tent, and I will not take out a ranged weapon. I will take out, which one? The Morningstar.
All right. And so I'm going to say, Lillibeth, you spring up, you grab your weapon, you're on your way towards the tent, but you don't quite get there in the same way that the other 2 are, like, maybe more defensively there. So at that point, any ranged attacks?
So I was, Chris, where are you sleeping?
Probably, I don't know whose tent it would be, but in all likelihood, my tent would be set up that they would be in, and I would probably be sleeping outside of it.
Okay.
If that is groovy with everybody. So I'm more or less, I got my hat over my eye with the my bedroll that I'm leaning against a log or something like that.
All right, I'm going to yell and throw a rocket at Thomas.
Okay. So Thomas, you're kind of jolted awake as the rock hits you.
Okay. I startle, kind of sit up and look around.
Yeah, you can see that there are these like 3 white lightning fast creatures that are kind of descending down very, very close to where you are waking up from.
Okay. So I will roll out of the way.
Sounds good. All right. So with
Thomas, are you doing any range, or are you doing melee?
I'm doing melee.
Okay.
all right. So yes, that would be any actions that anybody is taking. There's no melee really at this point. Things are still in the air.
Within 30 feet.
They're within 30 feet.
I will attempt to awe them. Are they mortals or animals?
I would say they're animals.
All right. Do you need to make up to 3 hit dice worth? Lowest first. Make a morale check. If they fail, they flee for 1d4 rounds. Sorry, I expected you to get the book out to check it, but I was like, this is all I got right now. It takes too long to load the crossbow.
It's too dark.
They save. They make it.
All right. They are not frightened, but that's okay. It was something for me to do.
All right. So they are, based on the way that you're kind of positioned around the tent, they're going to kind of redirect their animosity towards at least the two of you that are in front of the tent. And I'm going to say the kitty cat probably is going to draw the Sturge owls a little bit more than Silver. But Silver, you're going to have one on you as well.
Got it.
I will also ask: are they considered large creatures, or are they considered like medium humanoid size?
It's to be humanoid. They're like 3 feet wingspan,
Okay.
so kind of smaller, but probably your size, I guess.
Just gotta ask because it's a character thing.
Is a 17 hit Silver.
Yep.
Does 3 points of damage with its rending claw.
Wow.
Wrenches into your shoulder. Has a second one. Does a 16 hit.
Yep.
And then another 2 points of damage.
Whoa.
So this thing is like on you and has its like talons like clenched into both your shoulders and is like right like in your face.
We have that scroll lightning bolt still.
The other two are descending down onto Topsy. Oh, a nat 20. Fortunately for this attack, the nat 20 is 3 points of damage.
Yep.
And the second one misses. All right, another initiative roll. I rolled a 1.
Yay.
We can do this.
I believe in you.
I rolled a
Good.
1.
Oh no,
Really?
That's okay. I think we give you the tie,
Hey.
right?
Wait,
humans
humans get the tie.
humans
Yep.
get the tie, and then there's a re-roll.
Yeah, let's do the reroll
Right.
for the non-humans
Cool.
in the group.
Come on, fairy bro, you got this, buddy-o.
5 this time.
I rolled a 2. So yeah, okay. So yeah, this is interesting. This is the first time we've done this. We just discovered this rule the last time that we played. So humans win initiative on a tie, and then all others it's so now we got kind of like a 3-tiered initiative. So that's kind of fun. So all the humans, any movement.
Well,
Move.
I'm going. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, assuming that I'm not really. I mean, melee is probably not all that possible at the moment, so I would be putting a sling in play if I cannot do melee.
There is the possibility of a melee on 2 of them, because one of them's like pretty much right on top of Silver, and the other one's really right on top of Topsy, and then the other one is kind of stayed up a bit.
I'll do the sling on the one that's still up in the air.
Okay.
Lillibeth, are you moving?
To me, I'm going to continue to move towards the tent.
Okay.
And if
you
I can
make it.
get to you, I'm going to be heading to you, actually to the owl that's on top of you. Because it's got to be, yeah. It's only 3 feet.
Sounds good. Okay, so the ranged attack.
All right. No, I rolled a 3. So
All right, I think that's the only ranged, and then the melee from Lillibeth.
Okay, so I realize if I try to use this Morningstar flail, I'm going to hit Silver and not do what I want to do. So I'm literally going to just launch myself at the owl, which must be in his face, right? And try and wrap the chain of the flail around its neck.
You want to
Try.
pull it off of him?
I want
Okay.
to try and pull him.
Give me a strength check.
Okay, hang on just a sec. I'm going to have to roll under it.
Yeah, add a +2 or whatever you roll.
My roll was a 6 and my strength is an 11, so it's still under it.
Okay, so you manage to like kind of grab it and like put like wrench. You know, it takes a little bit of your flesh, Silver, as it's wrenched off of you, but you're free of it. I think that's everything on that side. So then the non-humans, any movement?
No movement.
I think all melee, right?
Yep.
Definitely melee for me.
No hit.
No hit from Topsy. How about Silver?
My bad. Yep. Yeah. Let's do this. So this is. I promise this all makes sense, but I have a -2, but I should get a +2 that's not accounted for. So this is just a straight roll.
Yeah,
But it's accounting for my stuff.
the -2 from the drain.
Yeah. So I've got a -2 from the drain, but a +2 from my class that's not in the system.
Sure.
So the math evens out. I'll have to fix that later. It's very slow for some reason. So it is a 19 to hit
That
and then
hits.
5 damage.
You kill it.
Thank God.
All right. Owl's turn.
Yeah, just like chop it in half, right? While Lillibeth has it all chained up.
The one that's near
Sorry,
Topsy is going to try to try to hit with it's got this really long kind of crooked beak. But it will miss with that, and then it's got like one of its claws in you. It's going to try to hit with that other one that missed last time, and that will miss. So you're kind of keeping out of its arm's length. The one that's up in the air is I'm gonna say it's gonna dive at Thomas. It just had the rock sailed towards it. 3 will miss and a 1 will miss. So nothing from that one. Another initiative roll. That's a 2.
Is that Topsy? Is that Topsy meowing?
Yes.
Topsy is still a little, like, not that many hit points, so a little bit.
All right, it's a 5 so we win that one.
You win that one. So at this point, Geoffrey, there's been a bit of excitement kind of happening around. I'm going to say you're awake at this point and can join in here.
Nice.
So we're looking at movement first.
I'll move up to the one that's on Topsy.
Me too.
All right. Any
Well-
ranged?
I take it back.
No.
There's still one flying in the air, right?
There's one still
Or
in
that
the
one
air.
actually.
Yep.
Okay.
Didn't he dive bomb me?
He's sorry. Yeah, he dive bombed Thomas.
Got it. Okay, well then if Lillibeth goes to the one on Topsy, I'll go to the one on Thomas instead. We'll split.
Yeah, and
Probably
I
just run towards whatever is closest to me.
Probably the one on Topsy. All
Would
right.
I be wearing my armor and stuff, or would I be... Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. I think there's a penalty that comes along with that. Okay. I don't think there's any range that's happening, so it's all melee. Let's start with the ones that are grouped around Topsy.
Okay. I will, I guess I just like shook Dead Owl off of my flail and go ahead and try and do the same maneuver on the one that stuck to Topsy by a claw.
Sounds good.
So strength check again. Same exact roll.
All right. You
So-
managed to pull him off. Let's see. Geoffrey?
Can I strike at it, or would I hit my friend?
You can strike at it.
I'm going to strike at it.
It's a big target.
It would be 17.
That hits.
Okay, 6 hit points.
You managed to take that one down. Just kind of bat it out of the air with your sword. And then there's one other over by Thomas. So that's the one that Silver and Thomas are both going to take swings at, I believe.
I got to get in the habit of this. I'll throw monster lore in there as well
Yes.
because this is strange behavior for regular owls.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. This one. It's be a 15 to hit. My monster lore check, I rolled a 6, so
That makes
I
it a
would know.
success. So this is a Sturge owl. It is, and you identify it because as you're looking at it now, really with just, the starlight and moonlight, I guess. Well, you still have the fire. The fire's roaring. You can see it's got almost like these milky white eyes without pupils. They're known to eat humanoid flesh, favoring that of children and infants. And they get their name because of their long beak, the Sturge owl. They're not bloodsuckers, but they kind of have a little bit of like a Sturge-like kind of similarity, I guess, in the facial structure.
yeah, it was. What did I
And
say?
you
It
said
was
a 15 hits, so you can roll some
15.
damage on that.
6 points total.
You take it out. So you managed to kill these 3 owls who are definitely trying to devour your children that you have with you.
I let everybody know. I say these are. I don't know if any of you all know what these are, but these are Sturge owls. They call them. It's a good thing we had the children in the tents, or it's highly possible all of them would not have made it back to Prigwort.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Boy, you guys are so good at this fighting stuff. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. I just can't seem to do nothing. You guys did good. Good job.
Thomas, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw. Or, sorry, save versus doom.
Oh, all right. Save
Good.
versus doom.
You are burdened by
All
knowledge.
right, what is my doom? I need a 12. Ooh, and I rolled a 2.
When you killed this thing, it let out this screech, and as you were like, identifying it and putting all these pieces together, like that screech is just kind of like burned in your memory, and like it feels like you're having to listen to that on replay kind of over and over again every couple of minutes. And it's the kind of thing that just like kind of got goosebumps, like the hairs on the back of your neck are kind of like on end, like it's just this almost anxiety provoking feeling that you have. That's you're probably gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight because you're just like adrenaline. You're feeling like a little wild.
Feeling wild?
Wild. Yep.
All right. I'll keep, trying to itch my ear, try to get it out whenever I hear it. And
Are you okay?
the damn screech. It's like a what do they call it? An earwig or an earworm or something that's just. I can't. I don't know if they call it an earwig. I don't know.
It works either way. It's something wiggling itself into your ear,
and not just into my ear, but in almost like into my brain. It feels like just at the. It's just. I hope it goes away, but it's just very. It's very irritating.
Probably just been like a long day for you. I mean, we came back from an abbey that had weird undead crow things collecting teeths and zombie abbots that like wants to like eat your soul or something. It's been a rough day. It's understandable, Thomas, but you'll get through this. It's just if you need some help, there's an open cask right in the back of the wagon. Take a few swigs of that. I'll cover your watch. But don't you worry about it.
I may do that. I may drink till it's easier to sleep, if at all possible.
So with that, the watches are resumed. Thomas, you're doing your best to do whatever you need to try to calm down or settle down. It eventually just like exhaustion kind of like lulls you down, but this isn't a great sleep for you. Morning eventually comes. All the watches happen. No more incident. In the morning, Thomas.
Yes.
Your wisdom score is, let's call it temporarily. So, like, don't totally reduce the stat, but your wisdom is reduced by 1.
Okay.
And you still have this feeling. Like it's basically like you wake up on edge and, you wake up, the hunger is there, but you almost feel like the impulse to, like, go out in the woods and, like, go hunting for your food, even though you've got rations and such. Like, there's just, like, animalistic kind of instincts that are starting to develop and well up within you. And maybe you're almost feeling like, some raw red meat sound pretty nice this morning, but you're not so far along yet that you do that.
I look at the dead owls. You're
thinking about it.
Yeah.
They haven't totally rotted yet. You're like, I could maybe get away with that.
It's a cool night.
Yeah.
So, do any of us notice this sort of flesh lustful behavior?
I don't know. I'll let Chris maybe describe, the interpretation of what your behavior is this morning.
I would say at this particular point, being as it is early on, I'm a little more quiet. And when I do talk, I might be a little snippy, which is just kind of out of character, but I'm trying to keep it together for, I don't want to be mean to these kids and stuff like that. But I just kind of seem, I guess how it's manifesting itself would be that I just seem a little more quiet and irritable.
I'm going to just put that down to a bad night all around.
Yep.
Look on the brighter side. Go ahead.
I was say, did Thomas get bit by one of the owl sturges? I know I did. I know Topsy did.
No, I don't think so. It didn't take any damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not.
So with morning, you pack up your camp. You get the cart kind of all loaded. The children seem rested. It would seem that in the kind of battle, you were able to. They didn't wake up. Maybe just from the sheer exhaustion of having woken up from the gloam's spell and everything, like kept them out. So they don't seem to be on edge or anything this morning as you get packed up and get on the road. It is another kind of balmy autumn day. Sun is out. It's quite beautiful. You know, the leaves and everything are definitely have started to change colors here, and very different kind of feel from being at the ruins there. And you start to travel. So basically, you know, with the traveling and everything, you got a wagon. You're on a road. You have 6 travel points per day. While you're traveling on a road with a wagon, it takes 2 points to enter into a new hex. So I'm assuming the trajectory is to follow the road due east. So it'd be 2 points. And this will take you, we'll say it's about 2.5, 3 hours travel. So kind of late morning. You notice as you're traveling that you spot a small pathway that forks off of the main road here, the Swinney Road, and heads south into the woods. And at the junction there where you can see that this little trail diverts off, there's a wooden signpost propped up against the stump of an old dead elm tree.
Is it in Woldish?
It is. It says Shub's Finger, and the sign, you know, it's kind of designed to look like an arrow pointing in that direction.
Stubbs Finger. It's hard to imagine what town, geographic feature. Guess we could check.
Let's go along that line. Ooh.
Well, that could be true.
I was thinking it's more like a
Maybe.
tree that looks like a finger, just like doing, you know, a little pointing up towards the sky, like, you know, this here, Stubbs Finger. Pretty nice. Or even if you even be more special about it, it's the middle one.
And someone was so proud of that to make a sign advertising it.
Maybe he really hates this guy Stubb and is like, here, see this finger.
That's what it is.
Well,
Hmm.
I mean, we have no idea how far in we have to go to find Stubbs Finger.
Perhaps on the way back, but I'd say it'd probably be a good opportunity to do it when we don't have children to escort and, you know, a wagon load of wine to offload.
That would be pragmatic. So I'm guessing we should be pragmatic.
Yeah,
Just pass it by.
Passing by, you can continue on the road. Another 2 travel points will bring you to this hex. As you travel on the Swinney Road, you notice that kind of to the south of the road, there's an embankment that starts to take hold. And at some point, it rises up 20 feet, wooded. And as you're traveling alongside it, you will see high up on top of the embankment is a watchtower overlooking the road.
Should we wave as we go by?
There's you'd be able to spot there's a narrow path like on the opposite side of the embankment that where it like starts to decline and level off. There's a trail that seems like it probably circles back up and around and leads up to that tower.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worse for wear. So as careful as we can go.
So you continue forward.
I think so. Just like not trying to. I mean, there's no choice, right? So
As you are moving forward, your wagon lumbers forward. It's a horse, right? You have like a draft horse that is pulling it along. So as you get to the other side, you're starting to get to the point where you would maybe cross paths with that little trail. You can hear the galloping of horses coming down the path. And within moments, there is a total of, we'll say 11 in total. 11 horses that come down that path. A number of them just stop in the road and kind of line the road. And then the others kind of circle off the path and kind of surround you. All humans, wearing chainmail. And let me see. Maybe many years ago, might have put something in here. No, maybe not. Yeah. Here it is. They all have tabards that have this kind of symbol on it. And upon one of the horses is a woman, and you can see that she instantly, her eyes are on Violet, and she just says, "My little sister, could it be?" And like Violet just starts running forward. The woman like dismounts off her horse, and like the two are in a tight embrace. Meanwhile, all of the decorated soldiers on horseback, they all have pole arms. They don't have them drawn and like pointed at you, but you can see that there's like kind of like a tension, and they even though this like family reunion is happening, like they're all just like kind of watching you.
I'm gonna kind of do what I can, make eye contact with Sir Geoffrey as the human knight.
Yeah, and I'll probably, make sure that they see that I'm not bearing any weapons, and that they can see my House Ramius, being shown, and I'm sure I recognize that this is House Harrimore, right? That we recognize as her family. So, I'm just gonna state, we found these children, exactly where and how, and we've come to return them.
The woman stands, and she kind of holds out her hand to kind of signal to the guard that you are no threat. And she approaches you. She herself looks like she's fairly young looking, 19, 20. But she has the trappings of like she is the leader here. And she introduces herself as Commander Hilda Harrimore. And she says, on behalf of my family, you do not know the peace that you have put upon us this day, on this most holy of days, the day of the great Saint Sedge, the protector. You are most welcome here. I am sure that there is a story behind how you have come to find my youngest sister. Now is not the time for that. That will come. We will want to know everything that you know and how this came about. But today, allow us to escort you forward. Come, let us go and drink and feast. Let us bring this news to my mother, to the town.
Well, it'd definitely be rude of us to ignore a commander's offer, wouldn't you all say?
I would certainly agree. And so I think, Sir Geoffrey, we should perhaps accept this offer.
Of course.
She had
We
me.
still have the other two children as well who need to return to their families.
She had me at feast.
Yeah, I'll mention, of course, we would love to join you, and we will, and I'll probably ask that they help us find these children's families, as well.
Yeah, and she will say, certainly, of course. Thrice you have made this a happy day for all of the mourning families. You of course will be honored guests here, and she kind of signals to some of her guard to head back up to the tower, but then it seems like she kind of wrangles the other half and is going to give you essentially like a small military escort forward to Prigwort. And so, as you begin to move forward there, Topsy, where are you on the road? Do you walk along the cart? Are you in the cart?
I feel like I'm small enough to play, so I can just kind of sit with my feet kicked up over the kegs and kind of just hanging out on the top. If not, I'm riding shotgun.
While the cart is kind of lumbering forward, at some point you notice that there is a small, stumpy creature in the cart with you, maybe about a foot tall, foot and a half, and it's just it looks like it kind of looks, it's got long ears, big wide eyes, kind of like a Grimalkin, but it's like wood. It's like made of wood and animated. It's got kind of the elongated or the oval irises of a cat. It's kind of looking at you.
Peer over the top of it and be like, "What you looking at?"
Oh, and it kind of very shyly kind of tries to hide behind one of the kegs and lets out a little mewing sound.
Oh, don't you worry about nothing about anyone up here. You're totally fine. You got a favorite treat? I'm pretty good at making those. Yeah.
Can I have some milk?
I think that's the first time someone asked me for specifically a drink, but I'm sure I can make something work with that.
Any sweets?
Oh boy. You come to the right Grimalkin here, bud. All right, let's see what you got. What do you want? Anything you want? It's at my disposal. Just hold your hands and tell me what you foresee yourself eating in the future. Hands are clasped in their hands.
I want a strawberry tart with frosting and sprinkles.
It appears before whatever this creature is.
and eats it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, who might you be, little guy?
I'm Jilly Jump at the Moon.
Jilly Jump at the Moon. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Name's Topsy Fluffykins.
Oh, wipes off some of the frosting and the sugar on his, gnarled body and extends a hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. Wow.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Look at all this wine you've got.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't believe the horrors we had to go through to get it. It was bad.
Wow. The Earl of Yellow must be demanding more and more. This looks like some real vintage hooch you got here.
It's at least, a century or two. It's a little bit.
Well,
So,
this should probably extend the protection on the town for nearly a century, right here.
oh, possibly. It means to be rude or anything, because it's not uncommon to get visitors, but, how'd you get in the cart?
Oh, I climbed in.
Yeah.
You're
I
the
saw
only
that
one
part.
that can see me.
I'm not sure I follow what that means exactly. How does that work?
Well, you're a fairy friend, right?
Yeah.
So you can see me.
Uh-huh. Oh, is this something I would even know is a thing, or am I, losing it slowly?
Yeah, you're not really sure what this is the first for you, probably.
Well, I tell you, I've been around for at least, 6 of those centuries, but, boy, you're the first one to ever tell me that, I'll tell you that much. I mean, I've had the kiddos once say we're playing hide and seek and saying, no, you can't see me, even though they're clearly hiding behind a blanket, and they let the blanket go, but they're still standing there, and I can still see them, but I play along with it, because it's fun. But, boy, you're a first.
Well, okay. Well, we should celebrate a first, don't you think? Maybe we could tap one of these kegs and have a drink, you and me?
Well, here's the thing. If I start doing that, these other guys, you see that man right there? I'll point towards, Silver, who's, clearly drunk.
Oh, shit!
Showing.
He's gonna be able to see me. He's fairy, too.
Oh, yeah. He is. But listen, he is, super protective of his drink. See, if you... Here,
Yeah, it looks
I'll
like
curve you a
he's
little
had
bit.
one already, though.
Yeah, but, he specifically says that these are his. And if you don't respect that rule, he's gonna see that really big sword? I mean, I tell you, I once had another one of my group with me. Well, let's just say they're not here no more.
I'm not following that. There's 3 of us. He seems like he'd say yes to uncorking one of these.
I mean, possibly. You want me to ask him?
Yeah.
All right. I will I don't know, throw a rock at Silver and just have it tink up his armor.
Yeah, I'm just writing in my journal, trying to recap the recent events. And
Silver, stop with your poetry. Get over here.
and I get the rock clinks off my armor. I look up and I see the little wooden gremlin version, the golem version of whatever. I'm like, whoa, Topsy,
Yeah.
is that something you've made there?
I wish that he is a wonderful fella. Oh, introduce yourself. No time to sit about.
I'm Jelly Jump at the Moon.
I'll do a big courteous bow from a seated position. I am Silver upon his brow. You may call me Silver for short. Jilly, Jump at the Moon. Who are you? Where did you come from?
I live in the big tower up there.
The tower?
Yeah.
And this is and he's referring to the watchtower from the Harrow. Yeah, okay. You live there. Are you a guest of the lady?
I've never been called a guest before. I've pest.
Are you
Sometimes they
pest?
say that about me.
Okay. And you're here with us in the pest capacity?
Ooh, I wanted to be a guest. I saw that you had a lot of wine, and I thought maybe you would share some of it.
Oh no, we never touch this wine. Of course, I say this we never drink the wine ever. Wine is off limits.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. You've made such a great impression upon me already. I'll happily buy you the first round at whatever tavern or bar we stop into.
Deal.
It's a good compromise, no? I mean, you've been so kind to us. It's only fair that we're kind back to you, as our honored guest, of course.
Of course. Guess Jilly Jump of the Moon. And this wine here you wouldn't like it anyway. It's very, very old. Very old wine.
That's
you want to
like
get
the
something
best
nice and
wine, though. Hey, I know my I know my wines, and I can smell that this is good stuff you got here. That's what drew me
You smell
down
it,
here.
too?
Yeah, I smelled it all the way up there.
That's impressive. You have a wonderful nose.
For
That's good.
wine and alcohols, yes.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Connoisseur is the term I know of.
Then you would know that you wouldn't want to enjoy a wine like this in the back of a rocking wagon. So
I
we
don't
were
know
trying
that.
to offload this.
I don't know that.
You were a connoisseur, Jilly. You have to have a nice aroma-free environment. All these animal smells, no good. That ruins the palate. And you have to rinse your palate with water. You have to have a nice meal to pair with it to get the full effect. Like when we get to Prigwort, we're going to sell as much of this wine as we can, and then we're going to save one little bit for ourselves, a celebration. You're invited, as our friend here has said, but we can't crack open these caskets yet. That would be a waste.
Okay. We'll do it your way. Your way. There's a first time for everything, and that sounds really nice. And I like free. Free is good. So, yeah. It's okay if I park it back here I won't touch the kegs, okay?
I mean, if you want, you can ride shotgun with me.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. And as you're drawing close, you can just see his nose kind of goes up in the air. Oh, the mother lode. Yes, Prigwort. Oh, I smell it all. I smell it all.
I'll kind of I assume Thomas is the one that's riding the cart. He's the one that's drawing the horses.
I'd say that's probably true.
I'll be nudging Thomas and say, "So yeah, Prigwort's a pretty cool city, right?" And I'm purposely giving you a little more stiffer of an elbow than usual.
I turn to look at you. Yeah, it's nice.
And I give you a big old smile and do with the eye movement towards the right of me, kind of stretching and leaning back. So where I believe jumps at Moons is a little more visible, and seeing if Thomas sees anything.
He wouldn't see it. He wouldn't be able to see it.
I said, what are you doing? Right? I can't see this creature, right?
Correct. You can't see it. You can't hear it.
Kind of. Sometimes it's fun just to mess around a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Now let's play little jokes on the road. You got a good joke?
Do I have a joke?
Yeah.
Not today, friend.
What? Come on. Nothing?
No.
I'll tell you. I'll make a treat in honor of you for a joke. Joke's pretty nice. Come on. You can't say no to me, please. Pretty please, Thomas.
I kind of growl a little bit, and I just say, "Topsy, not today," and turn and face forward.
Boy, this man needs a shower now. Oh boy.
For the duration of your time traveling to Prigwort, your new friend is a chatterbox and is going to be talking your ear off. Why don't you roll me a d20, Topsy?
All right. And I did give him a treat, if that means something, because I believe if I give a creature, I don't know if he's immortal or not, but their disposition towards me is improved.
Oh yeah, he loves you.
All right, d20, here we go. I rolled an 8.
8. Okay. So he takes notice that you're getting an escort from the Harrowmores, and he starts to tell you that he has heard that the Harrowmores have a dark secret, that they keep consort with a monstrous entity in the lake, which grants them wisdom in exchange for their mortal souls.
Oh, it's not Lake Longmere, is it? It's a different lake?
Different lake, yeah.
Oh, there's another lake? Oh,
much smaller lake. Much smaller lake.
Oh, so many lake monsters. So fun.
He would say specifically the lake which house Harrowmore. So, to give you some context, the Harrowmores do not live in Prigwort. They have their house, their estate, whatever you want to call it. It's like a small keep, I guess. Is like a half day's journey from Prigwort to the north. Sits on top of a cliffside that overlooks this lake.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a fascinating tale. I would almost call it a little too crazy, but I mean, the stuff that we've seen, oh boy, you would not believe. So, if I'm not too far off, what do you think what they do when they lose their souls?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And pretty soon, you start to arrive at Prigwort. Let's pull up. There's a map I can pull up for you. Activate.
Oh,
Something's not right. Let's take a quick 5-minute break, and I can get this all figured out here. So, all right, folks, thanks for hanging out with us. We will be right back.
looking for the map.
Hey, we are back. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight. We are playing Dolmenwood, and the crew is just arriving in Prigwort with their wagon of wine. So you are being escorted by a member of the Harrowmore family and a number of her guard. It seemed that they were garrisoned at a watchtower just to the west of town. And in seeing that you were bringing their missing family member, her her sister, has decided to escort you to the town to kind of share this news and just get you here safely. And today is a feast day. So there are feast days throughout the year on the calendar throughout Dolmenwood. Not all of them are universally, worshipped, but Saint Sedge is an important saint in this region, and it is his day. And so as you are coming to the famed brewing in Market Town in the heart of the wood, you see situated in a hilly clearing Prigwort. And it is known for its inns and taverns, and just generally you can, smell the odor of beer brewing, the malty scent on the air. You can hear kind of the sounds of partying happening. It's later in the day now at this point as you're rolling up. It's like 2 or 3 p.m. and people have been out eating and drinking all day. And so that kind of merriment is definitely palpable as you pass through the gates with your wagon. Your escort here, she would suggest that you take the wagon, and she will escort you to the town hall, where they have a what you call it, a garage of sorts, where you can have your wagon parked, because there is a whole cellar of ales and kegs and spirits that are there, and so it is a place where they have the capacity to store all this and make sure it is safe amongst all of these people that are highly inebriated. You probably don't want to park this on the wrong street or whatever. So she goes and takes Violet to go and be with the family and such, but has the rest of her guard kind of go and kind of help you with securing your wagon. But with that, you are seeing that, this is very different from where you're coming from at Fort Vulgar. This place seems very orderly. There's a lot of new construction that you see about. The streets are relatively clean. Much different than some of the drearier places that you have been in throughout Dolmenwood. Market Square is packed with the residents here that are, you notice everybody that is eating, foods and such, everybody has a knife in hand. There's no other cutlery other than knives that people are using. And you notice the little kids are kind of on the sides of the road or the street, whittling away with little just small knives, creating little wooden sculptures and things like that. But there's just a overrepresentation of knives in people's hands. There's maybe some games where people are throwing knives at targets and such. At some point, the friar would clue you in that Saint Sedge is known as the patron saint of these types of crafts, because he was said to have felled a great lich sorcerer using only dirk. And so that seems to be a part of the local custom or whatever to pay tribute to that.
So I'm patting myself down. I don't even know that I'm going to have a little knife, but I'll put everything else away at the moment.
So
nope, no
Knife.
little knife.
So you guys all have a lot of different things that you want to do. All of these things would require you knowing NPCs or knowing where to go and blah, 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 I think unless there's anything, you're not going to be able to do anything today. Everyone's hammered. No, there's no businesses that are open. So I think it is safe to say that, if your characters are feeling up for it, you may be doing some carousing of your own and enjoying in the local customs and whatnot, enjoying the food and ale and whatnot. You will get answers to all of those questions. We don't have to RP this out. We can just say, whatever your things are, the needs that you have, you could just throw them out there and we'll say throughout the day, you learn this. One of the first things that I'm coming to think about is, Thomas, you had suggested you had some items that you may want to get identified, right?
Yes.
So you will learn. Go ahead.
And possibly look at, because we have no need for it or whatever, to also, I would guess who we would go to get something identified also would be interested in perhaps purchasing that spell book.
Yeah. So you will find in your, conversations throughout the day that there is a very, I'm trying to think how to describe him, how the locals feel about him, but there is a wizard in town who is named Mournspire Druge.
I recognize that name.
He is everybody kind of thinks of him. He's a wizard, of course, and so people have kind of funny feelings about that, especially the religious types. But he's a fixture here. He lives at Bag Manor. And it is said that it can be kind of difficult sometimes to get an appointment with him. You kind of have to go through intermediaries, and it's like a whole thing. But he does have a reputation for liking the company of adventurers, so you have that. We also learn that he has a house affiliation. There are 7 brewing families that kind of run the show here in Prigwort, and he is a member of one of them. He's a member of House Oberon.
And they're brewers?
They are brewers, yeah. Let's see, what you'll learn about House Oberon is that, actually, House Oberon, they are distillers. But, Mournspire is maybe a little bit of a black sheep of the family, is what it kind of sounds like. But he definitely has the services that you're looking for: identification, purchasing, and maybe knows where things are in the world and pays people to go and fetch them for him.
Okay. One of the first thing, I'm sure there's street vendors with meats and things like that. One of the first things that I would do in going in there is getting some meat that's maybe a little more on the rare side.
Sure.
And when I eat that, I perk up. I just want everybody to know that it's really kind of mildly noticeable that I kind of become more myself as I, take some of this meat and eat. So do with that.
I'm gonna imagine you just pulling it off the grill way before it's ready, just
yeah. Just sear, just sear it, and just sear the outside and eat it, and actually it makes me perk up and kind of become myself.
Yeah. I'm more of an extra rare type of fellow, but that works too.
And I would say, word travels fast throughout this day. News of Violet, Harrowmore, and these other kids, we'll kind of flash forward through the other kids. Their families are, just ordinary people in the town. They're not attached to House Harrowmore or anything, but they get reunited with their families. And so all of this is very public, and everybody knows that you were the ones responsible for this. So really, you're not having to pay for anything today. Drinks are being thrust in your hands. You're getting heroes treatment here.
Well, I'm going to take full advantage of that and have the best possible meal and re-gift all the alcohol that comes my way to anybody else but me, because I just don't typically drink that. But I'm just dying for something that is like cooked by somebody else besides me that doesn't taste like fish.
Yeah, all sorts of things. There's, little cookeries outside where they're serving meat. There are definitely bakers. There's a number of young women that have a stall, and they've got pastries and such that they are selling. You see a couple of different places where they are cooking like roasted fungi and mushrooms and things like that.
I will attempt to be incredibly charming to the young baker ladies.
Yeah, and they are very very flirtatious.
Very
and
good.
They tell you, it's 2 silver pieces per pastry, and they are showing you they've got all sorts of things. They've got little tarts, croissants, breads, you name it. They have just cookies, biscuits, and they know what they're doing. They're dressed in sort of a tantalizing way, and they're doing good business. There's a big crowd around, and so when you step up, they're very flirtatious with you.
Very nice.
Put a hand on Geoffrey's shoulder, be like, steady. Part of the game.
Yeah.
Actually, Geoffrey, you recognize them from your vision with the catfish. I believe it was you. I think you had a vision.
Yeah.
They pulled him off into the woods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I did. I'm trying to remember what the vision was. They pulled me into the woods.
Well, they pulled another
told-
man into the woods. It was like reminiscent of the experiences you've had.
And like the man just left his cart and did not return to it.
And
The thing under
my friend is chatting him up or what?
Yeah, I think Thomas is open to that. Is playing
I think
into that.
I'm gonna warn Thomas. I'm just gonna kind of whisper in his ear, hey, watch out for these ladies. They're gonna try to take you in the woods.
Oh,
That sounds excellent, Geoffrey. That's exactly what I've been going for.
they're giggling and kind of whispering to each other.
Huh?
Is this unusual behavior for you, Thomas, or is this more like your norm?
This is much more like my. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
It's like the red meat attraction. I was trying to like maybe draw some dots.
Yes. I have been on the road a while, so.
Yeah, so Geoffrey was trying to warn Thomas, but probably egged him on.
Probably, yeah.
You're telling him all the terrible things.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
take off your cloak.
Yeah. And as you
Well,
continue saying all of that, my eyes get wide and my smile gets wider. Very nice.
But it ended badly.
Well, Thomas, I too am tired of mushroom stew. So,
Indeed.
no offense, good fire. It settles the belly, helps us sleep well. Let's partake of the city.
So tell me other things you wish to know about or have need of.
So we definitely get tobacco, because I feel like that's something we've always been low on. I think we should get like a nice sampling of tobacco. Pipe leaf, I mean.
Yeah. Tobacco, really any of the taverns or inns will have an assortment of tobaccos that you could purchase, or there's also an herbalist you could go to that would maybe have some things, but that's pretty easy you could even probably buy that today. So let's take a look.
I want the good shit.
The good shit. Let's see.
And-
Matt with Kush.
And I am reading through my notes right now because it seems to me there was a bunch of different stuff at Prigwort. There was that moss dwarf that worked for somebody in Prigwort.
Yeah.
That was
I think
that was
that
Sturge.
yes,
Oh,
that's
not
right.
the-
That's where I had heard that name before. Yes, Mosselmeyer Druge.
And Thomas, I would like to try to get that go with you to see the wizard, because I want to see if there's any scrolls or magic wands or anything that we might be able to purchase. I also think while Alex, you're looking things up, Geoffrey, we should definitely see if there's a suit of armor. I was looking up the rules. It takes like a month to get a suit fitted to you. So if there's something that we could find, I could use it too, but it's pretty expensive. So maybe we prioritize you getting it first so you can feel out your nightly dreams.
Yeah, reading about knights have a big thing with armor and about it
Yeah.
being a status symbol and such. So yeah, I was going to ask it. about. Now I have plate armor that we got in a dungeon somewhere, which is pretty good, but
There's gonna be one extra point, and then would look cool as shit, and that's the main
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
It's
yeah,
1,000
So
gold.
we'll look to upgrade it to whatever next one we can. Yeah.
All right,
And
so
then I think selling the wine, of course, Alex, is a big priority.
so Winston, you wanted the good shit. There's a chance.
Yeah.
Roll me a d6. See if you can get the special shag.
Yeah.
Oh, special blend.
All right. I'm rolling now. I rolled a 5.
I'm sorry. They don't have it
Damn.
here in Prigwort. But what you can get, really the popular blend here that everyone seems to be smoking is Old Dobie. A sumptuous velvety red-brown leaf with an aroma reminiscent of the woods in autumn.
Yep.
It's a common but well-loved leaf. Calms the nerves, lightens the spirits. 6 copper pieces per use.
Now, I think if we have the right stuff to keep it, fresh and safe and dry and all that. If we bought like 10 pounds of it or something.
We do have a cigar box.
We got a cigar box.
Yeah, so you can keep it in there.
Yeah. Let's buy. So you said how much did you say it was per use?
6. I think I said 6 copper. Yeah, 6 copper.
For one use.
One
per
use.
person per use.
Yep.
Yeah. Why don't we buy
10 uses for the whole party.
Yeah. 6 times 10 times. How many are there? 6 of us usually.
Yeah.
There's 360 copper, so 3.6 gold. Fuck it. Let's buy 5 gold's worth. Boy, that's too complicated math. Let's buy 6 gold worth.
Just loading up.
Yeah. So copper. Actually, hold on. I'm making an assumption. I don't know how it works in Dolmenwood. What's the conversion from copper to gold in Dolmenwood? Is it
It's the
times
same.
100 or times
Time 10.
100?
It would be 100 uses of this tobacco.
Yes. Let's do that. Let's buy 100 uses, 6 gold worth.
Awesome.
Big prison pocket.
I will bestow upon the gold to use to ruin myself later in life. Boop.
Oh, you're taking the gold off?
Yeah, I got gold for days.
Appreciate it, sir.
Kitty
So
pocket.
that'll be 100 uses of tobacco. That should keep us going.
Who's putting it on their character sheet?
I think you're the custodian, right?
I can be.
Yeah, put it on there.
100 uses tobacco. This was old. What was it?
Old Dobie.
Old Doobie. Old Doobie.
Dobie. Like the elf. No, Dobby.
Yeah, I guess speaking of that, Topsy, I'm sure you and your new friend are, at least your old friend, your new friend is enjoying. Maybe that is where all of Lillibeth's ale or libations are going to the
I was like, oh, thank you. This is pretty nice here.
Yeah, you
Don't let
just-
them see you.
the pass through. So one of the questions was how to sell this wine. You guys have a shit ton of wine. Really what you come to learn is probably the most efficient way to go about this, and probably the only way that you're going to be able to make this deal is you're going to have to go through the families. And you're going to learn that there's going to be a process. Like, you're going to have to meet with them in the town hall. They're going to have to call council, and you're going to have to negotiate with them collectively to try to sell it. Because there's no individual buyer that is going to be able to front the money that would give you what this wine is worth. But I think throughout the day, you're kind of getting the sense that you're going to have to go and meet with this council anyway, because they're going to want to report about what happened. Like, how did you find Violet? How did you find those kids?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense to me and preferable, I think. I think we want to sell to the families,
yeah, probably throughout the day, you might even start to realize that, all the politics here revolve around alcohol. Like, people grouse about there's different tax rates for different things. Ales and beers are one rate, and distilled liquors are another. And there's a lot of it's like these micro level issues that you guys don't care about, but you're hearing in passing people kind of grumble about it or whatever. You learn that there's even sort of moonshine, or there's almost like an underground black market for alcohol here to get things to not be taxed or whatever. All of that kind of exists. And other needs or questions.
I think Geoffrey would probably talk up to see, healers, advanced healers. He'll probably show people his wound and then like accidentally squirt them with some like pressing into it too much. And hey, where do I go? What do I do about this? Oh, gross. Oh, maybe it's worse than I thought. Oh man.
I think most people aren't going to know totally, but probably you're going to get the name of Wormspittle the herbalist as the recommendation that they might have some herbal remedy that could take care of the infection.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is still during the festival. We're not doing...
All of this is happening, during the feast day of St. Dread, Sedge.
So
I probably would talk about horses too. I want to find out where I can find the best horse and where I can get the best armor made.
Yeah, I'm after I get my fill of food, I'm definitely going to want to find out a little bit more about what the hunting, trapping, wildwood situation is around here in terms of like organized hunting parties and things like that.
Well, let's see. There isn't like a specific place for either of those things, Geoffrey. There's just like a lot of different like blacksmiths that you could go to. All of those things are available. And so we could take care of it right now and just with the understanding that you would, do this on the next day or whatever. So a good riding horse, the best thing that you could get would be a charger. This would be like a war horse. This would be the kind of horse that could hold your weight and your armor and everything like that. That's going to cost you 250 gold.
If you like, that can come out of the kitty pocket. It's what it's there for.
Okay, yeah, because we got a bunch of money in there too, right? That we put in their group money.
Just some of it, a decent amount.
Okay, yeah, sure.
how much
We'll
do we
take
have?
Yeah, what do we got?
In the Topsy kitty pocket, I have 473 gold.
Okay.
I think I'm carrying more, so I can take it out of mine.
Well,
I've
keep in
got
mind
almost
the.
2,000.
Okay, yeah, we're good. I was gonna say, keep in mind the plate armor's 1,000, but I still think we have plenty. So
I was gonna say I have 1923 in gold.
yeah, let's do. Yeah, we're good.
So I'll take the 250 out of that.
So this is just the charger. You can find it in the player's handbook. But it has, when you are riding it, and you're in melee, both the rider and horse can attack.
Ooh,
That's cool.
Is there barding for horses?
I believe there is.
We're just gonna make him the most ready knight he can be.
Horse
He's earned
barding. Horse barding is 150 gold. That gives a +2 AC to the horse.
Nice.
that's in the book, Charger Horse.
Yeah, it's on the same page.
Yep, it's an accessory.
Armored knights upon an armored charger, ready
Awesome.
to go.
Charger Horse. Yeah.
And then as far as the
Ooh, it's pretty nasty too. 1d6 damage +2
That's good.
to attack. That's pretty good.
Horses are mean, man.
and then the full plate, 1,000 gold for that.
Full plate.
Now that takes a month. So do we pay now and then get it later, or is it more like a half and half or something?
That's true. Yeah, Prigwort probably doesn't have it in stock and ready to go.
Because I would like one too, if it's something we could afford.
I mean, we do have a bunch of wine to sell. That will probably dictate
do.
how much surplus money we have. If we all just decide to buy full sets of plate armor.
Yeah, because I have plate
I mean-
mail now. This will get me plus an extra AC.
Sorry, I'm going to take that back. I don't think Prigwort doesn't have like an expert blacksmith. What you'll learn is in Brackenwold, you can get this crafted. They have expert blacksmiths there that could do it.
Okay.
Would normal plates be available here? Not the full plate, just like the one just below it.
Plate mail.
Yeah, we'll say that you can find that here. That's 60 gold.
Do you want that still? Do you want that silver? I already have that.
I got
I
it
got
here.
that from dungeon. Yeah.
I'm square.
Did I have it, Mr.
Topsy
Geoffrey?
wants it. You gotta be tailored for you, Topsy.
So
I got to
Like
be a little
child-sized
smaller.
armor.
Get it.
It was the custom crafting
Plate
2d6
mail, absolutely.
days.
I'll take it out of my cash. 60, right?
60 gold, yep.
Yep. You got it.
You're too kind, Mr. Knight, sir.
All right, well, I'm going to roll to see how many days it takes to get that made. Not too bad, 7 days.
We'll get that.
I think after encountering the undead and thinking about whether we would be returning there or not. I want to buy some holy water too.
Okay.
It says here holy water vials are 25.
25.
So are we doing the buying? Sorry, I'm a little confused. Seriously, because we started off it was a festival day and we weren't going to be able to do the big shopping. So are we doing the shopping?
No,
now?
so we're just handling it. Like in the story, like it's not happening today,
Yes.
but you know.
Okay.
I'm trying to save us from having to do a shopping episode again next time.
Okay. Then I've got stuff written down too, and I'll wait.
Well, we can buy for the party because I've got a lot of the party gold. Topsy's got party gold. So how many vials of holy water we think we want to get as a party?
Would 3 per person be good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly because for the people who really don't have like magic weapons in the sense,
That was gonna be my next thing, Topsy, is see if we can find you a magic weapon.
Me
if
too.
not, does like silver? I think I was reading silver weapons is a thing that works for that kind of stuff, or no?
Definitely want coat.
You can get
So do we have?
weapons silvered here.
Okay. Ooh. So they can actually silver a weapon that you already have, but cold iron they'd have to make from scratch.
Yes. Let's see.
Now,
Okay.
silver what makes it so that you can hurt the Fae?
Some
Old iron
undead.
hurts the
Magical. The cold iron hurts the Fae.
One other thing, also, in looking through the Dolmenwood Player's Handbook, we may before we go back to the ruined temple or whatever, there's something called Lich Hound.
Undead ward dog.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, should we get a dog or two?
I would love to have a dog.
Maybe a
Papa would be able to
bloodhound,
ride the dog.
maybe a lich hound guard dog.
I like the Lich Hound.
Yeah, the Lich Hound barks or bays or whatever and turns undead
I like
Like a-
that.
like a cleric.
I think we should get a couple dogs. There's 6 of us, maybe 3 dogs.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah, you
various
guys can-
types.
You guys can handle a dog part.
Yeah, I was gonna say we do have a
Oh, we have
Grimalkin
a
in
yes.
our party here. So
What do dogs think of the fairy? Are they fairy friendly? I mean,
There's
obviously,
there's a
Some of
fairy-
them are, some of them are not.
one particular dog is not a fan of Fae.
Let's not get that one.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
and I don't know how many.
dog, a dolmen pincher is a hunting dog that says if a dolmen pincher successfully attacks a target of level 4 or less and rolls 4 or higher for damage, it drags down the target.
I would love to have
In the
that.
falling ground, the target may not move and suffers -1 penalty to armor class attack. There's also a bloodhound that helps with tracking. It says the excellent scent trackers. Once a bloodhound is on the trail, it is exceedingly difficult to thwart. Both of those could come in handy. I definitely think the Lich Hound, for sure. I like the idea of a Langston Mastiff because they're like guard dogs.
Yeah, but look at the Dapper. They can dress up in outfits and perform amusing dances.
True.
I want that dog.
They can mimic speech.
That could be quite interesting.
Yeah. The dog
I'll leave it-
dances and goes, "Thank you. Thank
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you."
Well, here's the deal. I'll leave it up to you guys. I vote that we get at least one of the undead doggies, right?
Yeah, I think the
So-
Lich Hound is a fantastic choice. I have to say, as a resident fairy, that we have to get the Dapper as well because it seems like a mischief dog. And you guys can choose else.
So then it's for me, it would be between like the hunting dog, which could be great for chasing down things like the Naglord or the Mastiff. So any preference? Hearing none.
I think you get to vote, Lillibeth. I think we got one for the Knight and the Friar, which is that anti-lich, and me and
Right.
the Grimalkin. We get our fun weird dog that won't be helpful at all. And you,
And then you and Thomas vote on a dog you want.
Yeah, Thomas, do you have any choice?
I'll let you pick it. I was thinking the Lich Hound just because of what it was that we were going to be going up against, that would assist. So what was the one that you were talking about?
There was and my computer right now is driving me crazy. I can't scroll through this. So there was a hunting dog and I can't remember the name of it.
Bloodhound. So Bloodhound's excellent scent trackers. Once a Bloodhound is on the trail, it is exceedingly difficult to thwart.
Yeah, and it
And then
was
there's
well, I
another
think-
one that's the hunter that drags down
That was the one.
The
That was the one.
Dolmenwood. Yeah,
That's the pincher.
Yeah.
Dolmen Pincher. Yeah.
Dolmen Pincher.
I just got that.
Yes.
We have to get that one now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're getting a Lich Hound, a Dolmen Pincher, and a
Dapper.
Dapper.
Yeah.
Freaking. Okay, fine.
It has to come with an outfit.
What kind of outfit are we getting with it?
I'll let the DM decide.
He's got great taste.
How much is this? This is 150 for the Lich Hound, then another 90 for the other two. 150 plus 90.
Okay, and then I've got a whole bunch of,
Okay, so that leaves 1373 in my prison pocket.
and I can't see my up-to-date character sheet because I can't get in. So I don't know how much I have.
And then who's putting the doggies on their character sheets? One.
I'll
Let's
take
get Silver gets the Dapper. Lillibeth gets the
Dolmen.
Dolmen Pincher.
I will pay off
And-
for the dapper.
And then Thomas, do you want the Lich Hound?
For now, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and we could possibly pass it off to the good Friar if he wants it.
Yeah. Say put that on the character sheet in Foundry.
I've been putting it on my character sheet. This stuff on my character sheet under kindred and class traits. There's like a little notes area or under other notes. I'm just full up and full.
Yeah, the only thing I would ask is that each dog has somebody who is the custodian of it, who's controlling and directing it or whatever.
Yeah, that was my idea. That's what I was trying to identify here.
Topsy, I know
No,
you're slightly averse to dogs, but you can help me co-own it. But I'll be the official
I already
player.
paid off the dog, and I'm also totally not going to absolutely buy the dog armor as well. Just so we're clear, totally not going to do that. I already spent the 25 gold from my inventory to give dapper dog armor.
There's dog armor.
There's dog armor.
Okay.
Is there? Are we buying
Yeah,
dog armor?
I will
Did you-
throw in
you
the
took it out of yours?
75. I will throw in the 75 gold necessary for all 3 dogs to be dog armored.
Freaking awesome!
Thank you.
Yeah, he's gonna have a Harlequin outfit. Oh no, you gotta decide the DM's gonna decide the outfit, and then we'll mess it up.
I mean, that's what
Okay,
I was
so
thinking
now-
because I was thinking about that King of the Hill episode where Bobby dresses up as the little clown and then acts like a dog. So
Mhm.
Harlequin outfit makes sense.
all right, it's a Harlequin, but with some padding in there.
Make sure
Now,
you
we
add
never-
that it has armor.
We never did do the holy water vials. Now,
So,
they're
and a couple of other-
25 each, so they're not cheap.
Ooh,
And we were saying
yeah.
3 each. 3 each would be quite a cost.
That's a lot. I didn't realize they were that expensive. I think
1 each.
one each. Yeah,
1 each, maybe 2 for the Friar.
Yes, 2 for him.
yeah.
And then
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 25.
I don't think we have any more rope left.
75.
Yeah, they're easily purchased rope.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
everybody put one vial of holy water on your character sheet. I'll put mine and my brother's on mine,
I will also
and then I'll give it
purchase,
to him when he gets back.
some oils. I will mark that expenditure as I find it.
Okay, so I was going to go ahead and get, so I do need to get a cold iron dagger. I did want to get more air. And so all of this will come off of my funds. A crossbow, and I'd like to get 2 quivers of arrows, which would be 10. 2 quivers of corals, which would be 20. And then I want to get, I think I still have I have about 9 of the silver arrows left. So I want to get another quiver of those, and that would be 50. And then a quiver of silvered corals. And I don't know how much it costs to get the gold iron dagger because I can't scroll down.
Cold iron dagger.
If you think you'd have more use of it, I do have a cold iron sword.
Oh, I would love that. If you don't have
I-
any, I guess you can't use it.
I can use it. It's just that I have a hard time hitting things as is.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah,
I think
I
our
will
other
remove.
question is, if we do want to return there, right, to that castle, because obviously there's We haven't plundered everything, so there's a lot of riches there. Whatever, right? Do we want to bring retainers? Do we want to try to retain some folks while
Yeah.
we're in town?
I was thinking we should, but I will say one of the
Wait.
things that I think would be important to do is investigate it, because I think the friar could help us learn more. We might have a better sense of like how dangerous it is, like what's going on before we gear up with retainers.
Like we know it's the Abbey of St. Clewyd, so we could get some research done and ask some questions about it.
That was one thing we were going to do.
But I think you're right that at the end of the day, I think once you know the lay of the land, we'll be able to say, okay, this is what we want to do, and like go pick up some retainers.
Yep. And of course not retain them until the end when we're not having to pay for them while we're just
Exactly. They'll eat and drink and have fun at our expense.
All right, so do you want to move on to the topic of information about the Abbey?
Yeah, and can I ask one thing? I like I said, I have a couple of other things, but I can just send them to you, and I can take them off of my sheet because they really are like ink and quills and
as long as
like that.
if it's stuff that's in the player's guide, that is just like reasonable stuff that's in town. You don't have to send it to me or whatever. You just buy it.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get into Founder to see how much money I have, but then I'll do that.
Oh, okay.
So, Alex, just one small thing. So I'm pretty hurt, and obviously we can rest it off. That would help. But is there any mechanic of going to see like a medicant or a healer to like get stitched up or anything like that? I might like 3 out of 13 hit points.
Yeah, if you go to the herbalist, that would be like the person that might have something for you.
Okay.
10 hit points down too, so I'm with you there.
But you've got that other kind of wound that's super.
Yeah, the gross one.
Yeah, so I think it'd be good for us to check on the bad wound, get healed up, patched up, but also, yeah, like you said, the information, trying to start to learn. I think it'd be a good place to put the friar for like assessment.
So, informally speaking, as you're talking with folks here at Prigwort, and people are celebrating you as a hero, and you're maybe like going into the stories a little bit about like what happened. If you mention that you went to the chapel or the abbey, people would be like kind of confused, like how, like no one's been able to get near it in decades or whatever. So that is one thing that you will learn. The story about St. Clewyd and the monster. I don't know if you had a name for the monster, but here they do. They said that Clewyd had tracked a demon named Sallowbrig into that location where the chapel was eventually built. It is said that Clewyd slew the demon, but then himself sustained a mortal wound that caused him to perish, and he died in that spot. Over the subsequent years, Clewyd's faithful, he'd risen to he's known as the living saint, so he had like this huge following prior to his death, and his followers came to mourn him, came to this site, built the abbey on that very spot, and founded the monastery and an order in his name. And the Abbey of St. Clewyd had become sort of the shining jewel for the church. It was like the largest, deepest in the woods site that they had consecrated and built a monastery in worship of the one true God, and that has been one of the goals of the church, is to reclaim the Dolmenwood for the glory of the one true God. But about 100 years ago or so, the abbey fell into shadow. There had been
100 years.
100 years ago. No one really knows exactly why or what happened, but there was some phenomenon that kind of descended upon it. It is said that like monsters and strange, the dead started rising from the crypts and from the graveyard, and there's all sorts of like kind of folk stories about what happened and why, but no, there isn't a lot of knowledge that you are finding here that's explaining the more recent events. And for that, the church knowledge, kind of the feel that you're going to be left with is that going to Castle Brackenwold and going to the seat of the church would be your best bet if you were to dive into what does the church know? A lot of people suspect the church knows something, but it's not really public knowledge.
How far of a travel is it from here in Brackenwold?
By the road,
Ballpark.
I have to reference the map here real quick. So probably about 2 days.
Okay. I'm wondering, I mean, it may be like somewhat contrived, but I'm wondering if the friar going with some retainers to the castle to like learn more. But I mean, if it's 2 days, that might be a bit much. Kind of thinking of like, like what makes sense for us to like kind of take care of some things in town while like he's researching. Because I don't know that we're going to be able to help much at the church,
Maybe like if he were to go, it's 2 days there, however long he needs to do the research, and then 2 days back. So like a minimum, probably at least a week he need to stay there by just researching.
Which I think, I don't want to like be too meta about it, but obviously if Issac isn't here, like that could be a really useful thing for him to do while we're taking care of some other tasks like selling the wine and maybe hunting down a few different other items. I don't want to like lock him out, but like I also feel like maybe that makes a lot of sense. But I also don't want him to get murdered on the road by a wood crew bandit or something.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's too much.
Well, and if it was in game 2 weeks, you'd have your hit points back.
Yeah, I mean,
too,
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Alex, I don't know. How do you feel about that? I don't want to like make a decision for Isaac's character, but maybe it makes sense for him to go to the castle, to see the church.
If you guys want to make that call, that would fly.
And then,
Okay, that's some.
we got a lot of business to take care of. Like this wine thing, who knows how long that's not going to be a one-day activity. Like there's going to be some action there, I think.
Be here a week or two at least. So sending him away for a week or more won't be terrible. I think we got to talk about cost though on retainers and what kind of retainers, because we may or may not be able to afford it.
Okay. How much would it be to like hire a couple of bodyguards?
Let's see, retainers.
They typically want loot shares, right? There's no loot to
Right.
share.
You can buy like people that go adventuring. Yes, that they're gonna come with you into like a adventuring location where there's loot at stake. But you can totally buy bodyguards, and that's gonna be a lesser thing.
Yeah, like I'm looking at mercenaries. They're like 5 gold a month.
Okay, you found them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
for mercenaries, and maybe we like just bring a couple. Like I don't know, what do we feel comfortable for the friar? 3?
To guard him on his way out and back. Maybe, well, here's the other thing that we should think of at least is if we're telling the family what happened, they may be quite willing to support sending the friar with his own band, including Violet's sister. And that could add some interesting thing to the story.
Yeah, maybe before making any decisions, we should talk to the town council. Because that'll help that'll make some decisions about the wine stuff. That'll make some decisions about what more we need to research with the abbey, and then we can make some calls from there.
Yeah,
Selling the wine would get us more money.
Yep.
Plus, one thing I meant to bring this up before, Alex, and kind of got sidetracked with looking at notes. One thing on that first day when we were going through and talking to people and everything, a lot of time there's like bounty boards and job boards and this kind of stuff or whatever in a town. Would there have been anything that I would have seen where there would have been a reward for the return of this girl or something like that?
Yeah, 2,000 gold pieces.
I would have grabbed one of those sheets or whatever to give to whoever when we meet, expecting the bounty, I guess. Or not the bounty, but the reward.
Yeah. Yep, you got it. Other things you want to address or get info on? So
the Abbey, children's families, a little bit more about the owls, I think, because or just the general. Are they part of the shadow?
Animals.
Well, yeah, but they eat babies and kids, and so they're
like those specific owls or owls in general.
So the sturge owls and other creatures that seem to be, I mean, the sturge owls for sure. And there was something else that happened on that first day that we started moving out that we didn't investigate, but I didn't know whether that was part of a larger shadow or not. So just asking questions about those kinds of things, just to get a better lay of the land around us.
Find out about that bridge too.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Owls. Locals definitely are spooked by owls. They're that superstition about them being associated with Droon is here as well. Most people don't really have direct experiences with the Sturge owls. You maybe will run across somebody who would suggest that they are native to an island that's in the loch,
Ah, okay.
but other than that, like, people don't go out there. They try to steer clear of it. But you've got a habitat, I guess, where they live. The bridge. Okay, I gotta look back.
In case that kicks
And that-
something off, I also want to learn about the finger.
We can go back.
The finger.
Yep. The finger.
I forgot what that was. Somebody's
Shub's
finger.
finger. Shub's finger.
Yeah, Shub's finger.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe
let's
that
see.
tower that this weird fey creature came from.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What was that?
The
Fey
creature.
creature came from like what seemed like a guard tower or something when we first got to Prigwort.
And they were there.
Jumpingkins or something. Jumping.
Jilly jumps him.
Jelly jumped them in, or chili jumps them in.
Okay,
I thought it was jelly.
there were a couple of bridges that you passed by.
One of them was engraved. I think that's the one that
It was engraved. It was green and had like an older.
And the water that ran under it was like a different color or something like that?
It
Or
was black water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
black water.
Yeah.
Gaywin's Bridge.
Gaywin?
Yeah, Gawyn. So that was the bridge that had some. So there's two bridges. There was the one that had the funny water. People call that one Gaywin's Bridge. It's believed that the reason why the water and the foam is what it is there is because the bridge, the river that passes under it, originates up in the Naglord's realm. The other bridge is a bridge that is carved with the visage of the Green Man. The Green Man is one of the old gods, and so that is believed to be a very old bridge that suggests that the Green Man is one of the old wood gods that is said to actually maybe still walk and still exist in the Dolmenwood, whereas most of them are slumbering.
We met the Green Man.
Not in this game.
It's like the Jolly Green Giant, more or
Yeah.
less.
Yep.
It's kind of
Really,
what I pictured in my head.
one of the only wood gods that the common folk might see as benevolent, whereas they'd be spooked by the others. Like typically, the wood gods are the domain of witches and are things that are not looked upon favorably. But the Green Man is a sort of a bit of a different reputation. He's kind, benevolent, cares for all living things. There are people here, even in Prigwort, that it's not like the prevailing thing, but there are some that would maybe have either effigies or ornaments that would depict the Green Man right along with the one true God, and not feel that those two things are incompatible.
Mm.
I mean, there are even those that suggest that maybe the Green Man is the one true God's answer to the Naglord, and that he's a protector that could defend them if they need to. There's a second part to this that I want to say, and that is that you have noticed that there's a lot of new construction here in town, and there's even like a new garrison that is being built. Like there's a military presence here. And there's a lot of talk by people that they are afraid of the encroachment of the Naglord's agents in the woods to the north, because there are essentially corrupted Breggle that have gone to the Naglord's side, and there are garrisons of Breggle in the woods up there that have been moving, and they have maybe army is a strong word, but they have organized bands that are moving south.
Didn't we experience this?
I was going to say we did with Billy.
Yeah, there was somebody who was controlling a bunch of Breggle. It seemed like they were maybe being controlled and not of their own will. Right? right?
Probably heard a bit about this in Fort Vulgar. They also are on kind of the front lines of watching out for that. Although, I think
I
you're
thought when we went into that like circle or whatever, I thought that we saw them like some demon guy that we even confronted at some point, some Breggle wizard or something, evil wizard, right?
It was when Billy was in the cage and there were the hags, but in the woods around there were the corrupted somethings. I think it was
Yeah.
the Breggle.
And then there was that giant creature that was in the hole that was
Yes.
that was sleeping.
And we
yes,
left him alone.
yeah, maybe. I would suggest this is probably different. Like these are these are organized. Like Breggle that long ago had turned to the Naglord and have grown up in his service. So they are
Dark Breggle.
yeah, they're called Crookhorns. The
Crook. Yep,
Crookhorns.
we have heard that before.
okay, maybe it
Yes.
was the same. I don't know. I have a bad memory, so. But anyway,
That's why we write these things down.
yeah, I don't know. I can't say for certain that it doesn't make sense to me that I tied that together, but maybe. But irregardless, the Naglord has a whole his armies are made up of, in part, by Crookhorns.
Well, it seemed to me that, I mean, there wasn't a lot of mention of Crookhorns, but it seems there was some town way up north that had kind of gotten taken over that was amassing Breggle and stuff, and I think it was mentioned that they were called Crookhorns.
Yeah.
But it was some town that was further up north, and we decided not to go up there. It was kind of like when we did the when we left whatever the town's name was and went north, and then veered off and went to the Wind.
Oh
Sky.
yeah. Yep.
There was a town further north of there or whatever that had what I was remembering as you had Breggle there, but they were referred to as Crookhorns because they were not good. But I may be mistaken.
And this is turning into a very long tavern table session with
Yeah.
lots and lots of beer.
And barely cooked meats.
Well, this is like out in the streets, right? Like everyone's partying out in the
Mhm.
streets and such. So, other things that you're hoping that you have heard or want to get info on.
Was sort of joking, but really Shub's finger.
Um,
Shub's finger. Is it a tree or is it a tavern?
people would tell you don't go down that road.
Oh, we were so smart.
That sign, and like people would be like it is a roundabout conversation when you bring it up. They're like Shub's finger. What are you talking about? Where did you see that? Like you'd have to describe it, and then eventually they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." I myself went down that way. Shub's
Mhm.
finger. That's interesting. When I went, it said there was a sign that was pointing towards Castle Rackenbold.
Oh. An illusory sign. What happened when you went down that?
Then like everybody seems to have like a story about like, yeah, that sign. Yeah, when I was going there, it was some place called Muskego.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we did not take that route. I suppose we would
Yeah.
have been
Yeah.
fleeced or tricked or something.
What about that tower when we first were arriving in Prigwort?
Oh, that is one of Watchtowers and Garrison.
Watchtowers?
Yep. So that is it was abandoned for a while, but Lady Harrimore has had her daughter reoccupy it with a kind of a newer order. Let me hold on. I want to get the details on this right. Swinny Tower. So that's what it is called, Swinny Tower. So it is occupied basically by the Knights of the Order of Saint Sedge and a number of there's a clerical staff there as well. They've got clerics, but their commander is Hilda Harrimore, the daughter of Lady Harrimore, and Saint Sedge is a saint that kind of goes along with protection and almost militant protection, and so their order is kind of here to fight back against the encroachment of the Naglord, and they're It was actually in the reoccupation of this tower when the family came out here to kind of pay visit. That's when they lost Violet. And so, had you come here first, right, and you had learned about the missing daughter, like there would have been a lot of rumors about the Crookhorns, had abducted her and stuff like that. Like nobody thought to go and look at the old ruins of this church. That wasn't really the thought process. I thought it was more a kidnapping by their militant neighbors.
I think if there's anything else we want to kind of figure out about.
I mean, I have a lot of very specific questions about the church itself, but I think that's going to be a Friar task.
Right. I guess hearing everything else about the rise, the defensive perimeter, it sounds like that's being set up, and this wariness and a concern about the rise of the Naglord. I am very interested in learning more about what the hunting is like. What are they encountering? Are they able to get enough food stocks in that they need them?
Yep. Hunting is plentiful here. Food and meats and such are essential, along with the beer halls and whatnot. Now, people don't go north of the Groaning Loch and hunt, as is the Naglord's realm, but in and around Prigwort in the woods, especially to the south and to the east, are places that people will go and send out hunting parties to bring in venison and small game and such.
Thank you. That's great news to hear. I'll find out more about joining potentially one of these hunting parties or becoming.
Yeah. I would not be asking around on the street, but I think I'm going to save it for when I meet the wizard. But if there's any known dolmen stones in the area, but I wouldn't be asking about that kind of thing probably out on the streets amongst randos.
Okay.
I figured the wizard probably would be most up to speed on that, I would guess, maybe.
Yeah, I'll say just so it's a talking point that you can bring up that yes, you'll hear that there is very nearby in the woods around Prigwort, not just a stone but a ring of stones. But yeah, common folk probably only know of having heard that, like a confirmation of that, but know nothing about it or haven't seen them.
Okay.
Well, and with if there's no other like specific things, I know this is kind of a weird way to do a session, but I figured this is the most efficient way to get some of this info kind of disseminated and everything like that. But why don't we close it with why don't you each roll a d20, and this would represent a random rumor that you weren't digging for that you might hear, and we'll start with Silver.
Rolled a 14.
14. Yeah, it makes sense. You were talking about the signposts and everything, right? So if you intend to travel westward, back the way you came, it's quicker to use the shortcut indicated by the old signpost that stands about 10 miles along Swinney Road.
Cool. Who told me that rumor?
It says, this advice is given by someone with malicious or capricious intent. So it was like some Grimalkin told you that.
Yeah, okay. Oh, really? Oh, you know what? Excellent. Thank you for that advice.
How about Lillibeth?
I rolled a 17.
So also makes sense because you're asking about the owls. The owl flame, AWL. The local droon that live in the woods or live in this area that have been encountered wield a magical staff topped with flaming antlers. The people call this the owl flame.
Sounds just amazingly cool.
Thomas.
I rolled a 9.
There is said to be a worm, a dragon named Chaos Brythe that lairs in the woods to the south. Laired in the woods to the south and was slain by the noble Sir Windlass. The body of the monster was never found, however, and its bones may lay in some lost, forgotten grove. Sir Geoffrey.
Which direction was that?
South.
16.
All right. The elevated councilman Smide Humblebuff, leader of House Pilston, has proposed introducing the position of council overmaster, and naturally has proposed that he himself enter into the role. This would be a major break with tradition, though it may speed up decision-making in the council. A little insight into council politics. And Topsy.
15.
If you travel west along Swinney Road, don't trust the way markings on Shub's finger.
No,
So there you have it. Some rumors that you could use to, I don't know, convince yourself to go in a direction if you want. So with that, I think we will close out and say that that was the 10th of Braghold. You'll pass out in some inn, and we can deal with the accounting of that later. But for Thomas, you wake up the next day with -1 wisdom.
Another -1?
Yep.
Okay.
No.
You'll gain a hit point. You don't have a full day's rest, but you'll get a hit point.
Okay.
And
Little
Geoffrey, your
Angeles.
infection just a little bit worse. But next time we play, we will pick up on the 11th of Braghold, which will be a drizzly, damp day. And you will, I think you'll get your audience with the council. They want to see you pronto. And so we'll pick that up in 2 weeks. But as we close out the game, we'll do so with our round of gratitude.
I'll do gratitude for Chris. I thought it was very cool for Thomas to do the monster lore. I always love seeing like the character abilities and learning. It helps us to like know what's going on, but also just fleshes out the unique aspect of the minstrel or the bard, I guess.
I think I would throw mine out to the two Fae characters, both the Grimalkin and Silver Fluffykins. Your last name is just great. But anyway, just the whole thing, the interaction with the weird Fae creature that suddenly joined our party that we don't really know about, and you guys just kind of like your secret friend, your little imaginary friend. I just thought that was fun and cool, and I like the way you guys handled it.
Yeah, I was going to throw that out for that as well. Assuming that they're not crazy and that thing actually existed. I'm not so sure, but no, I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that for you, Thomas, the way that you smoothly became cursed without blinking was just really, really, really good, and the way that you chose to behave so that it's going to take us a while to figure out that there's something wrong with you. So I really appreciate that.
I'll do a cop out and say everybody. It was all great as always. I'll start with Moreen saying, yeah, you just like me, like going super specific, want the stuff that you want for sure, like especially the hunting party group, because I thought that'd be a really fun thing to contribute for that. There's one, bam, Winston, we got you over here. It's like, you know what? I'll play into the silliness. Let's get a fairy dog, very dapper fairy dog. This sounds pretty cool. Bam, Winston's done. Next, we go to Garthok. Boy, it's probably pretty great now being a super cool nightman with a fancy horse and armored and saying, I'm going to be all the most fancy lad in the whole realms. Bam, they got you done. Chris Johnson. I'm not going to say the middle part of it just quite yet because that's not good for the podcast part of it. But always good to be leading into the curses. It's pretty cool. Everyone likes that kind of stuff. And you slyly grabbing like the job notice board of the 2,000 gold piece reward for the child and putting in your back pocket because, boy, more money is always more good. And Alex, as always, for running the game and making it fun.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Yay. Well, thanks to you all. I don't know. It was a different kind of session, but I think you learned a lot. I think you got to visit a lot of information. You don't get to do that all the time and get a bunch of information all in one shot, but it made sense. And so hopefully that'll help out in our next session this is the fun stuff, right? The big accounting, the big payday is maybe finally here. And so I'm looking forward to that because the biggest reason is because I've been hanging on to this sheet that has all the accounting of all those barrels. And I'm always like, oh, don't throw that away. Don't you dare. And so it'll be a load off my shoulders because I have almost thrown that piece of paper away like a dozen times.
Thank you for keeping it.
Yeah. So Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We're going to call it here. We have a new campaign that's going to be starting up next week, Saturday, same time. Going to be alternating with this game. We're going to be starting up a Ruins of Cymberum, which will be, we're not actually playing, I guess, the game. We're just like creating the characters, doing session 0 next week, but that'll be coming. So, yeah, check that out too. All right. We will see you all next time. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.